Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male. Intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Application of Knowledge podcast. I am Animated Mel. We have Chris James, and we have Stephen Michael. Welcome to episode 103. Yeah, I mean, make sure you check out our Patreon.
103.
Check
That's
out that
number
bad
4.
boy.
4 is the number of law and orders, policemen. Also, today is the 22nd. 2 and 2 is 4.
Here we go.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our video, and also make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below and all that beautiful stuff. We appreciate you for rocking out with us and tuning in with us throughout these tumultuous times.
Tumultuous times.
Yeah.
Where did you even learn that word?
Hey, man, I do a lot of reading.
What is it? Tumultuous?
Tumultuous.
This is what the times are?
I mean, depends.
I'm having a great time, man.
Well, I guess that doesn't speak to you, but to those who's going through tumultuous times, salute to you all.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Them people that got that stick me, they going through it. The January has been crazy for healthcare. Like, people are really sick.
Are you saying anything that's going to get us flagged? Because
I said to stick me.
I know your channels be getting flagged.
I said to stick me,
I mean, don't bring them flags over here, referee.
bro.
Did you see that? Did we talk about the thing about, or maybe that was someone else? There was an image that was circulating on Instagram about the number of cancer patients that's going to increase, or the percentage. Was that on? That was on a live.
Yeah, that was an Instagram. Well, I saw it on Instagram.
No, I'm saying we talked about it on the live. I think not here. But yeah, the amount of cancer patients that is expected this year is supposed to like dramatically increase by like 20% or something crazy.
For people under the age of 50, that's very important.
Cancer? Why? Why is that something that's going to happen for these people if it hasn't happened?
Well, no. The question is, how can you predict that?
Yeah,
that's the question. How can you predict that? Kind of like Fauci said, before I think it was Fauci said during the next, what do you say, 4 to 8 years, there's going to be a epidemic or a pandemic. He said.
Well,
how would you know that 8 years prior?
I mean, maybe because they know, they've studied the research. They're the ones who predict things that are going to happen, or maybe they're just sticking to the script.
That's fortune telling, bro. You Baba the fortune teller now?
I think it's bigger than fortune telling.
I'm just saying. No, exactly.
Yeah, you can tell the future when you create the issue.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, literally, it's like we don't see it coming, but it's like, no, we've been planning this. So, but no, man, it really has to do with the number one, obviously the food that they're messing with. It has to do with the everything that happened in 2020 and the thing that people got that made them feel like they were safer.
The world shut down.
And then now they have everyone has come out and be like, yeah, no, we know they didn't do anything. And people are still like going and getting it, which is crazy to me.
It is. They don't. I don't understand that either, because the official sources are basically retracting what they said.
Yeah,
and
it's common now, or at least in our world.
Right.
So maybe that's.
I mean, yeah,
we live in a different world.
But there has to be people that are hearing the official sources retract, and they're still getting it though. Because that's how brainwashing works. Yeah,
because they feel like they're safe. Like, oh no, I just feel like it's just better just get it. I'll just feel safer. But they're going through the roof. And unfortunately, I just found out that one of my friends, he just found, well, he had cancer before, but then he just got re-diagnosed. And right after I saw that. That picture.
Did he go through remission? Did he do chemotherapy?
I don't. Yeah, the first time.
Did he get the needle? No.
I don't know.
So that's a good follow-up question. But also, I'd be curious to know when he went into remission. How many years ago?
Oh, I mean, this was I was in Delaware at this time, so this was
5 years ago.
Yeah, 5+.
Would it surprise you if when they track the statistics for cancer patients and their success rate, it ends at 5 years? So the fact that it's coming back after 5 years doesn't surprise me.
Interesting.
That's typically when it does. It after 5 years is when it starts to come back. That's why they cut it off at 5 years. They don't look at so basically he's counted as a new cancer patient. Statistically.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So he originally got chemo.
Yep, went through that whole process, and he was good, and then started coming back. Well, and the interesting thing, just because I've helped him with a few things, that he also had issues with fatty liver. So obviously your liver is your master detox organ. And if that is not working properly, it's going to make it difficult for you to detox. And we understand that, cancer is a cluster of dead cells that are basically just wreaking havoc and pooping all over the place. And then the body is quarantining them. So if he's not detoxing well by himself, then it's it kind of makes sense.
Compounds.
Right. So I don't know, man. It just really upsets me when you hear these, these doctors get on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and they want to just battle holistic wellness. And they're like, you don't need to do a detox if you have a liver. Your body already does that. This is just a scam. They're just, and these detox drinks and stuff is just a laxative. That's all they are. They're literally just a laxative. You can get the same thing if you go get a laxative from over the counter.
You must have been on TikTok.
No, I'm not on TikTok. That's Instagram.
That's Instagram?
I mean, I've only seen a couple of them. I mean, there was but it's a thing. But I'm sure TikTok is even worse. But yeah, and it's just y'all are just talking. And because you're doctors, people just believe you. But it's no. How can you sit there as a doctor and just say that, and understanding liver failure and understanding these things that happen to the liver, right? You can run a test and see, your liver enzymes are high, or, you have an issue with the liver, but then say, as long as you have a liver, it's detoxing for you. Right. How can y'all say that? Clearly something is not working properly, right? It's just like a car. If I have a car and I'm driving, and just because I have a engine doesn't mean that my engine is going to run well, or it's going to get me to where I want to go, or it's going to be able to do 120 miles an hour just because I have an engine and it turns on. So it's you can still do something that helps assist the cleaning of the engine and the maintenance of that engine. So it's the same thing. It's just annoying, man, when I hear that stuff. And people, they hear it, and then they come to me with questions like, "Whoa, no, I heard that these you don't even need these because I have a liver." Bro, come on.
It's the new year, and a lot of people are aiming to lose weight, typically at the beginning of the new year. And I'm starting to hear of this new thing called Ozempic. I've never heard of it, but it's
it's new to you.
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard me talk about it?
Or maybe I have, but just the name didn't stick with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just been hearing people take shots and they're supposed to lose weight or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that obviously
I did a whole video on it.
Oh, okay.
It was a reaction video, so I shouldn't say a whole video, but it was.
I've done reels on it, multiple on them. Bro, it's horrible. So what it very basically is it's called a semaglutide, which is a peptide. And it's a hormone.
A semaglutide, which is a peptide.
Yeah.
I don't understand what any of those are.
And you said
I just told you it's a hormone.
Okay.
It's a hormone.
It's just okay.
It's a hormone.
So it's a synthetic hormone.
Yeah.
Synthetic. Okay.
Right?
It's fake. And what it's designed to do is it's designed to mimic a hormone that your body naturally releases after you eat, and it basically tells you I'm satiated, I'm not hungry. So what it does is it basically turns off their appetite.
So it's like the tea.
Yes.
But this is not a
But
healthy.
this is
But not a
this is
tea though.
Not a tea.
It's a needle that you put directly in your blood.
Right.
DEAT.
You put it into your well, most people put it into their stomach. I mean, they have it now where you can take it by pill as well, but they're like, it's not as effective, obviously, right? But there's a lot of issues with this because number one, it's a hormone. You already have women that are struggling with hormones. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing that you can, you get on Instagram or TikTok, whatever, and you want to lose weight. First thing hormones, right? So you already have these people that are having issues with hormones due to mainly all the heavy metals in the air and in their body, right? But then you have a shot where you're literally putting it directly into your stomach. So you're bypassing the body's immune system. You're bypassing all these things. And there's the reason for it, because they understand that if you do it orally, like I said, it's less effective because your body says, I don't like this.
Right.
And it doesn't take it. So they just put it right in the stomach. And what it does is it basically just makes you not want to eat. So what they see is that they see all these people lose a lot of weight. And it was originally designed, supposed to be for diabetics to help them increase insulin sensitivity. And then you had the stars pick it up, and then it became more popular as a weight loss drug. So Ozempic is the name brand, and then you have the I won't even say the off-name brand, but then you have the one that's approved for medical approval for like diabetics, and you got to be at a certain BMI and all this stuff. That's Ozempic. And then you have the other one, which is it's technically...
I believe it is approved for weight loss.
No. Wegovy is approved for weight loss. They're the same thing, but one is the name brand, the other one is the off-name brand.
The dosage is different, isn't it? The strength of it.
The dosage is based upon the person's weight, or which they can go up or down in it. So the issue, so that's what it is. So what they've been doing is that they've been, number one, following people. There's a lot of issues, but I'll give you a couple. Number one, they've been following people that have been taking it. And then what they found is that as they take it and they're losing weight, the weight that they're losing, 50% of it is coming from lean skeletal mass. Insane. So half of their weight is muscle.
Insane.
That they're losing, right? They didn't know this at first. So then... so that's number one, which they're basically their BMI is going up and they're getting less toned and they're getting more skinny fat. The second big problem is that these people are experiencing gastroparesis, stomach paralysis. So what's happening is that when you eat, your stomach has a valve at the bottom, and the food, as it's sending your hydrochloric acid, it empties out, and then it goes through the rest of your intestines, right? But what's happening is that the paralysis causes that valve to stay closed. So it only opens a little bit, or sometimes it doesn't open, and then the food isn't able to exit, so then it just sits in the stomach. So then now they have what some people call it frozen stomach, right? So the stomach doesn't empty. So then they have, of course, issues with bloating like crazy.
Dude, that sounds crazy.
They have constant stomach aches. They literally can't eat anything because their stomach just stays full because they have food literally just in the stomach. Now, of course, it's sitting in stomach acid and then it begins to rot, which I would imagine then they would start to become having more issues, of course, with parasites, things of that nature. So those are probably two of the biggest, issues.
Big enough.
That sounds scary.
It's terrible.
Your stomach is shutting down. I'm not accepting it anymore now. It's like the club is at capacity.
It literally shuts down. Oh, let me give you one more. Here's the worst part about it. Those are bad, but here's the worst part. You go through all of that to lose weight, right? You go through all that to hopefully increase your insulin sensitivity. But then after it's all said and done, if you stop, they have shown that you regain more than 50% of your weight back after you stop taking it. So even after you do all that, right? And yes, 50% of muscle loss and over 50% of your weight will come back. And they've seen this in like 70 to 80% of all patients.
So your BMI balloons.
Yeah, balloons. After you get off of it.
No, well, period. Like throughout this process, your BMI is going up, your weight is going down.
Correct.
You eventually are going to get off of it. At that point, you just gain visceral fat, I'm assuming, or whatever.
Number one, your inflammation is going to go up.
Right.
But then also because your stomach is still it's fighting itself. It's more or less my opinion, because it's a stomach issue, your bowels are going to become extremely inflamed. So a lot of the weight is going to come from inflammation.
Okay.
So
it's not as bad as it seems, but it's bad.
It's not bad as it seems, but but we understand this, right? But people just see weight and they don't understand the differences in that weight. So
under what circumstances would you recommend this?
You're 400, 500 pounds. You're diabetic. They're about to take your leg.
Anytime you are not willing to make the dietary changes, go for the drugs. It's better than not.
Yeah.
That
would be the only time I would tell somebody, okay, this is a way out. Those people that are on my 600-pound life, take it. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's what it was made for. It was made for those reasons. And obviously, I don't like science playing with hormones at all. But that's what it was made for. It is a naturally occurring hormone. There's a bunch of them that are naturally occurring in our bodies. And they're not all necessarily bad. They all don't necessarily do this. But it has to do with the dosage. You have people that are going into the hospital. I'm sorry, not the hospital. Poison Control saw over, I think it was 1,000% increase in calls and cases due to overdose on Ozempic. So they're overdosing on it too.
So they think more is better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you think of the mind of the dieter, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I just take this much, it's only half a milligram or whatever the dosage is. If I take a little bit more, I'll be even less hungry, right? So, and then I had somebody even in our group was like, because they were having a conversation about it, and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, girl, if you're taking Ozempic and you start fasting, it's gonna be so easy." And I said, "Y'all are fasting on Ozempic?" I mean, and of course it makes sense because. Right? Like it takes away your hunger anyway. So it just makes it so much easier. But I left that conversation.
It's probably better. It's probably better to fast on it because you just said it, you get stomach paralysis.
Yeah.
So, and also your body can actually kind of counteract some of the negative impact that drug is having.
I mean, I would say that it probably is better.
They promote fat I want to say Jason Fung talks about how fasting goes well with different cancer treatments, even I think dialysis. Someone actually asked me about that, Steve.
I would say that dialysis could be definitely a good one because your kidneys aren't working properly. So if your kidneys aren't working properly, you don't want to necessarily drink a lot of water. So, like when you're on dialysis, let me say when you have kidney issues, but dialysis is your blood. Your blood is dirty. So sometimes they go together because your kidneys clean the blood. But yeah, I could see that because if your blood is dirty, then something's not working. Your kidneys aren't filtering. Your liver's not filtering it. So there's an issue there. So I would absolutely say that they would go well together. You asked about. I told you we talking about this. That's crazy.
That's wild.
What are your thoughts about it? Like, what were your thoughts about it when you started hearing?
Well, I mean, if it's a drug or if it's a syringe or whatever,
A syringe, nigga.
whatever the fuck, a needle. If it's supposed to, especially if it's like a fad or something that hasn't been consistently around. I'm already thinking like, okay, this is just another easier way out for people who don't want to, either go through dieting or eliminating food or who want to eat the same food and get different outcomes. So, I mean, that's my initial thought when I'm thinking about it. And it's like, man, it sucks that people are going to see celebrity figures, maybe just influencers in general, that are going to promote this, and it's going to lead them to start to believe that this is the new way to lose weight. And then we'll get these cases where we start to see, oh, people are starting to actually gain this weight when they stop using it. And it's just like, man, this is just more things that's leading towards the fall of society. And, humans relying on pills and the modern doctors to be their solution to anything that they can typically just do with a little bit of will and discipline, because at the end of the day, that's all it really is having the will, the discipline, and the mindset to combat all these things that is actively hurting you. And a lot of people, they can't see like other people's results as like a beckoning of things that they should stop doing. Like if you've been consistently going to the doctor and relying on all of this medicine, and the doctor's putting you on pills and make you a reoccurring customer instead of just actually getting rid of the issue at just getting rid of it, period. If you can see this, especially if you're an intelligent person, if you can see this, why would you continue to go to the same people who cause these issues for the resolution? It's just like, man, they don't want to help you to get out of this stuff. And I'm struggling with the thought of, because I want to help someone who's like trying to have a child, but they don't live a life that is conducive to bear a child in a manner where the child will actually grow and be a human, or I guess go through the stages of being a human, and, instead of dealing with miscarriages and, and things of that nature. Like, how do you speak or how do you approach someone? Even like, dude, I'm so subtle with everything. And I know at times when I'm I'm subtle with people I know that are like very sensitive to a lot of things that I may speak about just out, because, but I'm aware of how I speak to people and how they react, especially if they aren't familiar with who I am, like just being around me. So how do you approach someone that how do you approach someone that you want to help because they're trying to start a family, but they're not willing to do the things that's going to get you to that position to be able to have a healthy body if you're just naturally obese and you're not doing anything?
Just a clarifying question. Is this something that you have seen, or is this something that has come to you? Like, has somebody said something? Has they said something to you? Or is this like you see that they're trying and they've been frustrated and they've announced their frustrations, and you're trying to how to basically give information that was unwarranted? Or
it would be more towards I'm seeing them go through these issues.
Okay.
I'm seeing they're not coming to me asking for anything. I got you. And also, I'm not going to them offering anything. It's just trying to feel bad though. Trying to be not even relaying the information through me, relaying the information to the husband, because he knows things that need to change, but he doesn't necessarily have the backbone.
God, this is a double whammy.
So it's like, look, I'm talking to you, my friend. I'm talking to you. I want you to tell your wife to start doing this and start doing this. Get rid of this and that. And even just having like conversations and saying like, hey man, like I know you want to have a legacy, you want to create your family, but in order to do that, you have to stop this because you cannot have another child. You can't have a child. They already had a child, but it was born dead.
Wow.
And then recently they told us that they was expecting a child, and find out this morning she had a miscarriage. So it's just like,
yeah. That's rough.
How do you approach someone in this situation? Because I mean, the wife isn't necessarily she's not like someone that I'm. I only met her through my guy. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know how to relay that information so they can just stop doing all the shit that they've been doing if you're trying to start a family. Like, it's not even just talking to the husband. It's just even talking to the woman's brother. Like, hey, there's things that we can do, and I don't know.
I would take it away from. Okay, so one of a tool that you can use, and I'm going to use this word, it's not the right word, but to manipulate somebody, is to implant
What's wrong with manipulate?
Huh?
What's wrong with manipulate?
Okay, well it just has a negative connotation, and there's
negative.
probably a better word. I just can't think of it, but
Influence.
that's probably a better word for what I'm going to say. But if you want someone to do something, and maybe they're very prideful or they are stubborn, they don't listen, it's make them think it's their idea. So sometimes that would be showing them, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how it would come up, but like, oh, I'm a part of AHA, yada, yada, yada. Like, oh, I just heard this story about this woman who's a part of our group who was having a hard time having kids. And, her and her husband have been trying forever. And then now they finally got pregnant. Now they're 20 weeks in, they're 30 weeks in, and they're really excited, yada, 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 right? He may say, wow, that's pretty awesome. Like, what were they doing? Oh, well, they started doing some fasting. We had them change their diet. They were eating a certain way. They started getting, rid of like toxic chemicals, and they started doing some detoxes. And it was all natural. It was all super simple and super easy. And they had a now they're excited, right? Whatever. And we have those stories. But that is how you kind of plant that seed. And that seed may take 6 months. It may take a year to grow, right? It may take, because as of right now, because of the situation, they may be like, you know what, we're not going to worry about it for right now. And it may be a year, 2 years down the road. But then when they start trying again, right, or they have the conversation of maybe we should try to have another kid, then they may think of you and be like, hey, man, you told me a little while ago about this woman, da-da-da-da, like, whatever happened with that? Or, or how would we go about that? Because people, their next step would be like in vitro, and these things are expensive, and their problem is
actually they're probably not going to be eligible.
I was going to say that's probably wouldn't even be what they would do, because their problem isn't getting pregnant, it's staying pregnant. And in vitro is about, we don't even get pregnant. Yeah. So,
and also kind of like, how you go on a list for different organs and you have to.
Oh, there's a list. I don't know. I've never dealt with this.
Wow. Yeah, there's
I've never dealt with it.
It's such a common theme.
I've never had to deal with
Grey's Anatomy. I don't know. Like, it's a transplant list. It depends on the circumstances, but it's common to be put on a list. And then also, let's say if you're getting a liver transplant. Well, if you're currently drinking or doing certain things, I guess maybe for like a lung transplant, if you're smoking, you're not even going to be eligible, because they're like, you're going to get this liver and you're just going to mess it up. Yeah. So I think it's in that realm, not exactly, but it's kind of in that realm.
That makes sense.
If you have a lot of issues going on internally, it's the same thing with weight loss surgery, right? If you're too big, or if you have a certain lifestyle, they won't even do the surgery. You have to lose some weight first, or
they are, because of the different types of surgery they can do. They've been more lenient, like, well, I won't do this, but I'll do this. Because I had a friend who got weight loss surgery. Well, technically it was a tummy tuck or whatever, so it was a little bit different, but
definitely different.
It is different, but they do lose weight
because if they actually cut the fat out. That's
they literally cut you open, lipo, remove the fat, right, and they burn it, so then it can't even which is, it sounds good, because you're like, if I tell you, listen, hey man, you got a little fat in your belly, we're going to cut you open, we're going to take all the fat out, we're going to cauterize it so it can't ever come back. You're going to be like, damn right, I don't need this fat here anyway. You'll never have to worry about the fat coming back in that stomach. Well, the problem is that fat is protecting you. So now, if you start gaining weight, it won't go to your stomach, it'll go somewhere else. So now you'll start gaining weight in your legs, and start gaining weight in your back, and you'll start gaining weight in places that you never gained weight before. But the fat has to go somewhere. The toxin has to go somewhere. Or your body might get confused because it can't use these storages. And I'm not gonna say your body's stupid, but weird things happen. Your body might be like, we can't do anything with this, and you can die.
Yeah.
Right? You can get illnesses because there's nowhere for the toxins to go. But does that make sense about planting that seed?
I think you came with the. That's like the best. Because Mel, this isn't impossible. The question is impossible
because they didn't come to you.
It's more like hear them. They say, "Yeah, I'm on this new, bro."
Oh, they talk about it around you, but
this has been years. This is years. This is over 5 years. So it's just like, all right, man. Like I might have to be aggressive, But it's not my position because it's not my. You know what I mean? But if I see,
it's a touchy subject.
Yeah, and I realize that if this is coming from someone who medicine and doctors and this whole field is their only outlet. There's nothing else that is going to be truer than this outlet, and I'm just like, bro, like
they ain't even willing to use an essential oil.
That's their belief system.
It's like if it's not from a doctor and like, bruh, medicine, prescribe me, I got a headache, I'm about to have a doctor prescribe me medicine, I'm about to go pick it up in 10 minutes. It's just like, bro, like,
okay.
I don't know how to talk to someone.
You may not be able to.
Which sucks because it doesn't like affect me personally, but it affects someone that I love dearly.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. This shouldn't be. This isn't the new. You have to create an offspring, and you need to do this by telling her to stop fucking eating all this bullshit and living this lifestyle that's not going to be able to help you make a family.
They can get a surrogate.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm saying. I'm
gonna keep it a stack. Some people don't need a legacy. If you're not going to do right by that offspring, because what would happen if, let's say they went surrogacy, because that's the closest thing to a natural birth that you could have, and you could usually pull that off. You put the sperm and the egg in a healthy womb, boom. You're just gonna give that baby them same habits you have, the same habits that are keeping you from being able to produce. It's just one of them things, man.
It's tough.
Yeah, I think that what I had to learn how to do was to not care so much, because it was painful for me to watch my family members consistently get sicker after we started presenting this information. It couldn't. You already know. Like I was like, bro, my mind is breaking trying to comprehend how this is happening. This is the reason why this information isn't out, because when someone presents it, people are like, they think it's funny or it's a game or they don't take it seriously or they try it. It's like, what? And it's like, bro, my platform is the number one platform for fasting testimonials.
Come on, talk to him.
It is the number in the world. The number one platform. You can come on my platform and see people from all different ages, races, everything, fasting, getting results, talking about their experience, and that's not enough for you? Nothing's going to be enough. What more can you do? They want a drug. They want
Ozempic.
They want an easy solution.
Yeah. A drug. You can't, that it's just what they want and reality don't align. They're delusional, essentially. And I understand sensitive is your friends and everything, but I'm just being honest because this is what I had to understand. Because I have many family members that I wanted to help. I don't get it. I mean, I was literally talking about a family member today. And it's just like, bro, like the only thing that's saving you right now is the fact that you're young. If you were 20 years older, you'd be on your way out.
I guess that's just a sucky part of us getting healthy and having that knowledge. Just like, fuck, you don't have to live like this. Like, you know what I mean? You see other people, like, come on, man, upgrade your life. But we can talk about something a little bit more uplifting. I know we all in black right now. We killing the mood. You know what I mean? But
Man, I like talking about that stuff. I don't give a shit.
no, I do too. And
Because it's real.
I mean, it's definitely real, especially when it affects people like real time and just seeing the times that we're living in, where just you see nature taking the background, and then all the society is just pushing needles and pills and medicine, and people live in America and think that this is the world. This is the world, man. It's
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Just because we're here and we have modern technology that is beneficial to some extent, it's not the source. The source is in fucking the food, man. It's all in the food that you eat, man.
Our technology is a double-edged sword.
They be like, yo, we got iPods and all this stuff, man. Of course they got good medicine. Like, bruh, medicine and touching screens, they do the same thing, but there's different. What I mean by same thing is that they're addictive, but they don't solve real issues that are going on in your body. You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff can be taken care of if you just stop all this modern stuff and just focus on the things that nature is providing for you. And shit.
Yeah, but that's not easy. So
It's not easy to just eat fucking fruit.
So
It's not easy to eat fucking fruits and veggies. It's not easy. But niggas can't make a fucking steak without grinding up some herbs.
Come on,
and
talk
doing
to
all
them
this
now.
other shit that have vegetables
they
and spices
do
and all this stuff.
everything in their power to make it not taste like meat
steak.
or steak.
It's like, bro, you need all these herbs. Ketchup, where's the fuck that come from? Tomatoes, where's the mustard come from? That comes from mustard seeds. Like, bro, everything that we're utilize, or that people who eat flesh, they utilize fruits and veggies on all that shit. So even when you try to get rid of it, you need it to make the shit that you're eating taste much better. And there are some people out there who eat flesh without
And commendable too. I commend them.
Yeah.
Because they really about that life. But they're few and far between. But this, I put out a reel, and it basically was like an apple is healthier than a slab of steak every day of the week. And I thought that this was Captain Obvious.
Oh no, sir.
Oh my
The
God.
carnivore community came for your
protein.
throat.
You don't get any protein.
Hey, where are you gonna get your protein?
I was getting called everything but a child of God. They said I'm misleading, false information, fake news.
They said that a steak is more healthy than an apple.
Yeah, one guy literally was like, obviously a steak is healthier than an apple. I'm like, huh? How is that possible that you all have been so brainwashed that you think the animal that eats the apple and then you consume their flesh, it's healthier? Why doesn't the animal just eat steak then? If the steak is the healthier option and you're getting healthy meat from this healthy animal, why wouldn't the animal eat steak? Wouldn't that make them healthier? Why do they eat the apples and the plants and the grass?
What would a doctor say?
We're talking about a nutritionist or
A doctor would be like, they may not. Who knows what the doctor would say? A nutritionist, they would say, well, it depends on what you mean by healthy. Like, no one said that. You didn't say that steak was not healthy. You said it was more healthy.
Yes, I said that an apple is healthier than a steak. And then I broke down my logic behind it.
Okay.
There is some very simple points that we could look at. Just from the standpoint of detoxification and upkeep, maintenance of your body.
Yeah.
You need water.
Yeah.
You cannot get water from a steak.
It takes water away from you.
It dehydrates you. That case closed.
That's that alone. And that's irrefutable. That's a fact. That's biological. That's science.
Yeah, case closed. You talk about protein. Why do we pretend like fruits and vegetables don't have protein?
Bro, welcome to 2024. Everything is protein.
Like, why do we have to pretend like this stuff doesn't exist in everything? And what do you say, Steve? It's not the protein, it's the amino acids.
Correct.
So what are we talking about? And is that really your only argument? Is the protein the only argument?
That's typically always the question.
That's it.
Fruits are so good that the carnivores have now added them into their diet. They know that they need fruit. And they do, and they're now adding them into their diet. And the more these carnivores get bigger and bigger, the more you see them. Typically, berries, apples are good, raw honey, mango.
They're definitely gonna try to limit how much.
Oh yeah, they limit. They keep the carbs low. They don't do like pineapples, too much sugar, right? But berries for sure, right? They'll do apple and they'll do honey. Like all of these, because they understand that their body needs these other things that they're not getting from just liver. Even though liver has all this da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, because you're eating the liver. Yes, the liver. If I cut open a human and I biopsy his liver, he's going to have a ton of vitamins in it. Duh, that's the liver.
Let me get some of them vitamins, cuz.
Like, come on, duh. Right, but like, come on, like, y'all, bro.
Is there a wild animal? I guess those would be omnivores. I guess somebody say who eats flesh and berries.
A lot of animals eat flesh and berries and grass and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
dogs that are typically considered to be carnivores, right? Because their jaw literally can only go up and down. They have real canines. Their mouth is designed for biting and ripping and tearing flesh. They will still eat grass. They'll still eat,
broccoli, apples,
bell peppers or whatever. It depends. It depends. But it's not like, so even the carnivores don't just eat meat.
Correct. There was, and then of course also obviously their digestion. Somebody, I saw a video. It's funny you mentioned a dog because I just watched a video on this where this woman is feeding her pit bull meat. I don't know what it was. And then there were hard-boiled eggs and broccoli. And somebody commented that they were like, man, the dog chews the broccoli more than they chew the steak, which was true. Literally, he put it in his mouth and he basically just swallowed it. Like bit it twice, swallowed it. Right. They were like, you don't even taste anything. But the broccoli, he was having harder time chewing because because he's not supposed to necessarily be eating that. Like, can he eat it? Sure. But that's not what his jaw is made for. Ours are made to go left and right, up and down, so we can gnash and chew and grind our food up, right? But the animals have a longer digestive tract, and the hydrochloric acid is way stronger because it's meant to have whole food and meat go through it.
Longer or shorter digestive?
You say high.
I'm sorry.
Shorter.
Mm-hmm. To get to the system. Yeah. But yeah, the hydrochloric acid is stronger.
Way stronger.
To break down the meat.
Because they also can break down bone and all kinds of stuff they be eating.
Oh, there was chicken legs. She also fed him. And she held it in his mouth sideways while he just bit on it to break it up. And then he just swallowed it. Like, the dog is eating bone.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a reason that they can do that, and they're eating their natural diet. And I have a friend who's a dog breeder, and she does, like, shows for dogs. And I was just like, listen, I was like, well, I saw that dogs are, like, naturally carnivores. This is a while ago. She was like, they are. And I was like, well, then why do we feed them da-da-da-da? She's like, because meat's just expensive. But I said, well, do you have show dogs? Do you feed them meat? She was like, yes. She said, but they only get, like, the best cuts of meat, I forget the period of time, a month or two before the show. And then they just get meat only. And basically just to help lean them up, to make them, to make them how they should look.
It's the same thing bodybuilders do.
That's as soon as she said, I said, oh, that makes all the sense in the world. But throughout the rest of the time, they're eating feed, which is, vegetables, eggs, you know what I mean? They still get meat, but dog food, kibbles and bits and all this stuff, it's processed food. This is why dogs and stuff be dying early. Yep. If you get an animal and you feed them a carnivore type diet, which is their natural diet, they will live longer. They will be healthier. They won't have all these other issues that these diseases that dogs are having now. All of a sudden, yeah, they're getting disease and they're dying fast because now we're feeding them processed human foods.
Wait, it's not because they have dog years?
No, that's
7
bullshit.
times or human year?
No, that ain't true.
No, but that's what they told me when I remember I was in preschool.
Crazy thing is, if you look at these dogs that are like homeless, living on the street, they live a long time because they're eating real food.
They'll eat rats and stuff.
They don't have access to kibbles and just crunchy,
dry dehydrated
processed food. Says made with real meat, bro, or just give them real meat.
It's probably made with real meat.
It probably is, but it's
what does that mean?
They probably just be like,
just
here's a little meat. It's made with real meat.
The same way they say that Taco Bell meat is real meat. It's
probably human meat,
bro. Well, don't even get me started on that.
Imagine if you had like a cow and there was only certain cuts of the cow that you wanted, and the rest of it you didn't want anymore. Mm-hmm. You could potentially send it to one of these pedigree or
for sure,
for them to make. And it would be made out of real meat, right? It would just be the eyes, the gut. I don't know. Whatever they don't want. You know what I'm saying? Because people eat everything. They eat the tongue and the eyes and everything. But
what do they call it? Nose to tail.
Yeah. So
everything in between.
So someone's byproduct could actually be what they use to manufacture this dog food. But that's why they die so quickly.
Man, keeping on the subject of dogs. Have you all ever seen John Wick?
Not the fourth one.
I haven't seen the fourth one.
Whoa, yeah, we talked about this. Did you finally see it?
Yeah, I seen John Wick 1, 2, and 3. John
Number
Wick
3,
1,
you got Parabellum.
John Wick 2 and John Wick 3.
You got Tat.
Well,
3 was my favorite.
Initially I had to. I'm always hesitant when like motherfuckers be like, yo, we gotta go eat this. I'm about to wait. I'm like, yeah, I'll wait a few years. Yeah. Because like Game of Thrones, I was late to that. Fucking Sopranos, I was late to that.
I was late to that too.
But that wasn't because people was talking about it, was it?
We were like in New York or whatever. Like, I mean,
it just wasn't on my radar.
Yeah, it wasn't on our radar.
I was aware of it existing, but it wasn't on my radar.
You watched it before we did, though, right? Didn't you suggest it to me? Sopranos.
I watched Sopranos when we were still living in Texas. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've only watched it when we moved to Texas.
Okay, so I thought.
Yeah, but none of us has ever really watched TV for real. So
no, I watched TV.
Yeah.
Like
back in the day,
like growing up.
Oh no, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about as an adult.
Oh no.
Yeah, as soon as Sopranos came out, what? 2009?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, as soon as we hit adulthood, I would say for us, when we left for college, TV was a wrap. Like, we weren't just sitting around watching TV. I don't even think I had a TV in my dorm room.
Nah. You wasn't playing a game?
No.
No game playing? You weren't playing games? You
no.
weren't rat smoker back then?
No. Chris had the game. So I would go to his room.
That was Rainbow Six back then.
Yeah.
But I mean, I watched John Wick, and initially years ago I did start it, but the beginning I was just like, yo, this is so slow. What is happening? This dude's in a suit, it's raining, it's just dark. And I'm just like, all right, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I didn't get past that. And so this, I guess, is around the time it initially came out. But then I was like, man, let me see what's on Netflix. And then it had John Wick 1, 2, and 3. I was like, all right, let me just check out this first one. Mm-hmm. And I'll get past that initial start, of him just getting his ass whooped. Mm-hmm. And then, him crying over his wife. I guess she passed. And then she left the dog. I'm just like, I love animals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what's the story without loving animals? Yeah, I mean. So I'm watching. I'm just like, okay. I'm just like, they killed this dude's dog. How do you kill this dude's dog? And then from that point on, every time that they mention like, you killed this nigga's dog, and everyone was just like, got quiet. There's silence. Mm-hmm. That's just not anyone. That's John Wick.
Yeah.
And then this dude got the music, put the suit on, start walking, going places, and I'm just like, do not tell me this movie is going to continue from this storyline of he fucking these niggas up simply because they killed his dog. And damn it, I was right.
Yep.
Every movie. Oh, you the guy with the dog, right? It's like, bro.
They're just a continuation of each other.
Yes.
It's like this. It's all within like almost the same amount of days, but it's just a continuation of each other.
And what I realized is that this series is insanely ridiculous. It's absolutely
so over the top.
Ridiculous.
It's like Crank.
I'm not familiar with Crank.
I seen Crank.
But-
Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what that is.
I was about to say. Yeah.
But this series is actually really entertaining. Like, nigga.
The fight scene.
Bro, and bruh. I'll be digesting those fight scenes. Like, I was like, okay, he did this move a few times. Like, every time, like, I'm like, maybe they need to work on the new moves. But each series, it kept getting better, extreme, wild. I'm just like, oh shit. Because if you look at because I was like, man, I can see why this movie's doing really well, because this is really entertaining and this action packed. This is sort of like those films, like because I love martial arts films in general. But when I was just growing up, you would see a lot of fight scenes with what's his name? Steven Seagal.
Okay.
You do Steven Seagal. Then we like Three Ninjas growing up back in the day.
Yeah,
sure.
You know what I mean? Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily. My favorite one was Cole. That was my guy. Cole was my guy. Tum Tum and Rocky and Cole, but Cole was my guy. But just seeing those fighting scenes with Jackie Chan, even watching like the Jackie Chan adventures and everything, I felt like this one, it brought all martial arts and action scenes to the forefront. And I'm literally watching this. I'm just like, this is like the Fast and the Furious.
I was
of
literally
martial arts.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, this is Fast and Furious of martial arts, because everything is just so extreme. Like the way he's throwing the knives. I'm just like that scene where I think it was maybe the third one where they were just throwing knives. They were
In that hallway? Yeah.
It was just weapons everywhere.
Yep.
It was just weapons everywhere.
And they're just he's blocking.
I'm just like, bro, this dude's aim is immaculate. Like, bro, how are you this far? Knock this nigga hit him with the knife. And I'm just like, yo, I am thoroughly entertained. Like, I'm looking forward to the fourth one. I know it's already out.
Yeah.
But it's not in theaters, so you have to like go to another.
No, it's not on Netflix.
Nah,
It's been out for a while.
They have the first, second one, and third one on Netflix. They don't have the fourth one on Netflix.
It might be on just another streaming service.
Streaming services. But
Side note, I did get a knife kill like that on camera playing Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Got this in my montage.
Bruh.
yeah, but John Wick is an amazing film.
We told you.
that I was just like, yo, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
They need to make this a fucking series.
You know what I like.
Oh,
You know what I
it's
like
yeah.
so much about it, because it's not so Jet Li, Jackie Chan-esque, right? Where it's so clean. You know what I mean? Like John Wick, it's gritty. Like he's a he can fight, but his style. There's no name for it. They literally created a name because it mixes judo and karate and all these different things.
But they didn't say Jeet Kune Do, because that's like the art.
Yeah. They've created
Specifically
the
for
John
him.
Wick style.
Yeah.
Like, and he's so like, even when he runs, he's not like Tom Cruise, right? You know what I mean? Like you can just tell he's withered, like he takes damage, like he getting his ass beat, and he just and it shows. Like,
bro, how many times is he gonna get his ass whooped?
Bro, he don't get no med kits.
So many cars. I'm just like, bro, how are you getting up?
And you can and it's like you can see it in the like in his movements. He's limping and he's
leaking. He going to enemies for help. You know what I mean? And then there was a reuniting of the Matrix in that movie. With Neo and the other non-Neo, the Morpheus. Neo and Morpheus. I'm just like,
what's his name? The King or whatever. I forget his name, but the
dude,
the King of the Underworld or whatever
of the bums.
Okay, yeah,
And bro, that scene. Hey, spoiler alert! I know these movies been out for years.
They no spoiler.
To me, it just came out yesterday. But
bro,
the shit when at the end, after he killed old boy in the motherfucking in the hotel.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the second one. He killed old boy in the hotel. What's that
I
first
think
one?
it was the third one.
No.
Well, I might be confusing with the fourth. I've seen them
the
all.
fourth one.
I've seen them all,
Okay.
so I don't want to.
In the second one, he killed old boy in the hotel, and then it was like, oh, you've just been outcast. Type thing.
Excommunicado.
Yeah, excommunicado. I had to Google that. I was like, what's fucking communicado? I said, no, it's probably another language or whatever, but excommunicado. And then
John Wick.
Yeah,
John Wick.
that was the first thing that popped up, like John Wick. And then that scene, well, old boy, he said, meet the manager in this area. And you just see a whole crowd of people, and he's walking to go to seize the manager. He's like, how come you haven't killed me yet? And the old boy talked on the phone. He was just like, now. And everyone stopped and looked at him.
Yeah.
I was like, nigga, you better get the fuck out of here. Oh, shit. He said, nigga, I'm doing you a favor. I give you an hour. I'm giving you an hour. After that shit,
To start running.
son. Bro,
Yep.
I was just like, this is, and that's how it led up into the third
And then
one.
the third one, literally, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Nigga, that's
literally,
perfect.
it picks right up. There was no 6 years ago. Like, it's the same day.
Nigga still fucked up.
In movie 3, he's fresh, but he starts off whooped.
Bruh, I'm just like, this is insane.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is he going to get out of this?
And the whole movie, he's the whole movie. Like, it's like, bro, can you go take a nap? Go get, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
like,
go
bruh.
heal, come back with a new suit. Like,
Stop
he's
it.
whooped.
It's crank, man.
Like, make time to do something else. Like, he can't even get it in right.
Do you like the scene? And I don't want to, the scene with the girl with the dogs? Yeah, she's in 3. In 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't expect her.
Bro, that scene is so amazing.
Yes. That entire
Yeah,
fucking
the entire thing.
like, even with the dogs in there.
Yes.
Them motherfuckers like
Yeah. Yep.
Pow, pow, pow.
Oh, my.
I'm just like, nigga, this is nigga,
Bro.
I was standing like, yes, this is action.
This-
I was satisfied. I'm just like, yo, this is hard.
Mm-hmm.
This is hard. And then I'm looking at, like, when they made the movies, how much they put into it versus how much it grossed. Nigga, they are getting loot from this.
Oh, were they not expensive movies?
The first one wasn't as expensive, but they netted a whole lot.
Okay.
And that's like the budget for it. It's like almost quadruple how much they made for
Okay.
it. So they're like getting an extreme amount of ROI.
Well,
on this
because
shit.
if you think about it, there's not any there's a couple actors, but there's nothing crazy. Like it's Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
and some other people, but like other than that, and even the special effects, it's like no, they're just fighting. Like I like
Do they have bullet time in that movie?
no, like where it slows down.
Yeah.
No,
Nah, they don't do
no.
that.
Like
He
bro,
curves. He'll curve bullets, won't he?
no,
Okay.
that's a different movie.
No, I know. There's a movie where they curve bullets, but I could have sworn there was a scene or something.
I don't think
Because
so.
I haven't actually seen many. I think I've only seen the first one.
Oh, you're
So you guys are like
wildin'.
ruining. Yeah,
No, we haven't really said much.
Mel-
You don't know the story.
Mel's ruined it for me, man.
No, at this point, no, don't listen. No, Mel, don't listen to
No,
him.
I thought you said you saw it.
He did.
The first one.
I thought that you saw them all too. No, these movies have been out. You've passed the threshold. I think it's the third one, where they're in the hotel fighting with the shotguns, and old boy, the manager's in the back room, and the black dude and him are fighting. All the guys. That shit is so boss because they have on these suits where they're completely bulletproof.
Oh, okay. I know what you're
Okay,
talking
all
about.
right. I was like, wait a minute, am I talking about 4? And I'm like,
You talking
no.
about second? You talking about third one?
No, it's the third one. Yeah, but they're in the hotel, and he runs back. He's
comes
like,
back.
open up! I need more ammo.
I need more ammo.
Like, and the way he loads his gun, like he just when he takes the shotgun out, and he's like,
He like altered that gun.
yeah,
He did that in real life.
Yeah, but that's real. He's actually doing
Yeah,
that.
he did that in real life.
But yes, the gun is altered, is custom, but how he loads it is real. No one would actually do that in real life, though.
No, I think he people practice that now.
Yes, now, but because of him,
Right, because of him. He created that loading style.
Yeah, but you, number one, all the shells you got. It's hard because you may depending on the size of your hand. All the shells are in your hand, but he goes in his pockets and he just this is so clean.
Like, ever think about this shit?
Now I'm about to go back and watch. I go straight to 3. 3 is my favorite one.
It got better and better and better. Because at first I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna watch the second one just to be sure, because they make sequels for a reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm entertained.
And then the third one.
Then the second one ended, the third one came. I'm just like, nigga. It keeps getting better.
Did you watch them? Did you binge it or was this over?
I don't like to do binge because it takes a lot of time out of shit that I need to be productive about. But I wanted to sit with the movie for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I did watch it days apart.
Okay.
I watched the days apart. I was like, man, I gotta watch this another one now.
I like doing that because you start to get fatigued, and you're like, okay, you start playing on your phone. You know what I mean? You just start doing that's how
if
I
I'm
am.
entertained by something, I'm typically not going to touch my phone.
Even if it's like you just been watching it, kind of you're binging.
Yeah, a lot of times I don't even touch my phone. Like I just throw it away from me. And I'm watching the movie.
Yeah, you got me one. I'm about to go watch the third one again. That's my favorite one.
It was really good.
I got a nice little tidbit for y'all. So
is it about John Wick?
It's about Keanu.
Okay, go ahead.
So it is believed by Gary, the numbers guy, that Keanu is a time traveler.
Wow.
And one of his proofs for it is, as a time traveler, you can't have children. It's not the right timeline. And also, when you look at his wife is 10 years younger than him, but looks 15, 20 years older. He's like 63 or something.
Keanu is.
Apparently, his wife is like 50 something, but they look reverse. And bro, he does not look 60 nothing.
No, especially doing these movies.
He looks.
They're movies, but he's active. He looks
like he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think I've heard something about
59.
59. Yeah. I mean, it's 60.
60.
I thought you said 64.
You said 60 something. I think.
I said 63 or something.
No, I don't think you said 63.
Okay. Well, I said 60 or something.
Yeah. Okay. That's I mean, listen, I don't know. Listen, at this point in life,
Mel, does he look 59?
Does he look 59? For a white dude, no. I would say he's
Why you got to put that on there? He doesn't look 59, period.
I mean, cuz typically white people they look older than what they are.
Sure, but even for a copper person or he looks.
I did not think that he was anywhere near that age.
How
I
old?
I wouldn't assume that. I mean, specifically based on the type of films and stuff that he stars in.
How old is Tom Cruise? Mel? How old is Tom Cruise?
No.
Come on now. Gotta be on it.
Nigga, it's your question, nigga. You should look it up.
I'm asking you. Shoot,
61.
Wow.
He doesn't look 61, right? They're both similar, but Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is into that Scientology. I'm sure he takes care of his body different.
I mean, obviously, right? If you're eating well and you're taking care of yourself and you're staying active and you're doing all these things,
Back to health.
then, huh?
Wow.
It's back to health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking it back. I'm just saying, but like that is it shows, and there's a movement that I won't say it's picking up steam, but there's a movement that basically says that while you're younger, take care of yourself now, so that way, obviously, when you are 50, 60, you still look young.
No, there's definitely an anti-aging movement for sure. Yeah, it's a thing now.
Because there was even a thing that came out. This actually kind of blew my mind, where they said that like Gen Z are actually moving away from even like drinking, and it's not like cool to like be drunk and to like just do a bunch of drugs. Like, yes, they still do it, but so the millennials completely different. When we grew up, drinking was fun. That was cool. But Gen Z is like, bro, why would you be out drinking? Like, if anything, they will smoke. But
Well, they're putting everything in the smoke now anyway.
Right. I'm just saying, like, it's a movement.
But they're aging faster though.
They are, because their food, but they're doing everything they can, like skincare routines and stuff like that. Like younger, like my daughter has a whole skincare routine, and I'm like, baby, you're 10.
Like you literally have the skin that people are trying to do the routine for.
I literally, and I told her, and I was like, I said, baby, you don't need to do this. Like you just, your focus should be on holding and preserving your youth.
Right.
Not using chemicals and things to try to get some back. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that in certain situations.
She's at her.
I mean, literally, there's nothing to get back.
There's nothing to get back.
Right.
It's a waste. So this is just Kylie.
Yes. I walked in her room. She's on FaceTime. No, you're right. Okay. I walked in her room. She's on FaceTime with her friend. And I look at the camera, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, my skincare. Literally, they're on FaceTime together doing their skincare routine.
Insane. And there's no one there to manage these girls. Because what's happening is TV, influencers.
TikTok is managing them.
TikTok is, bruh.
What are you talking about? Yeah, they're being managed by TikTok.
TikTok, these Gen Zs, TikTok is their Google. Bro. Did you know that? I might have talked to them.
I didn't.
Bro, it's their Google, bro. Like, they go to TikTok for everything.
So they don't even Google no more. They just go to TikTok.
They go to TikTok.
And ask their question.
They'll go to, what's the best places to eat? What's the fashion? Where's the spots? They go to TikTok.
I feel like I'm out of touch.
I'm old, bro. Mel, we old now. Hey, Mel, you on TikTok?
I am. You on TikTok too?
Yeah, but am I on it though? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not on it.
You're not on it.
I'm not on it.
You're not on it.
But
I don't even have it. I want to get on it.
Then get on it.
No. Hold on. Let me preface. I want to get on it for business.
Then do it.
But I don't want to get on TikTok.
Steven, do you have a fear?
I'm not.
Do you have a fear that you might get swallowed?
You ever been swallowed?
No, because I mean, like, I feel
swallowed.
It's more.
Y'all don't say that? Y'all don't say that? Mm-mm. Y'all don't know say that? Oh, this is going to be good. Hold on.
It's more about me working to limit my social media. And it's frustrating to a certain degree because, you know, I use social media for business also.
Let me give you a piece of advice. You have to learn the platform. After that, you can hire someone. You have someone do it.
Agreed. But listen.
I see that.
You've gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you...
Wow. What? Yeah, play it again.
That is terrible.
Play it again. That's him. That's TD Jakes. That's the boy Power Bottom.
That's Power Bottom. Did this clip just come out recently?
It came out after that.
This was weeks ago.
No, but it came out after that.
After Power Bottom.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing? Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed?
Yeah, they're obviously manufacturing.
Why? What?
They're making it sound worse than what it is.
I'm sure the message is cut. Of course, you know it's going to be cut to paint a particular type picture. But in what scenario can you just be a man in a gown, or what do they call that? What do they call that?
It's I don't know.
A robe.
No, a robe.
Yeah, who's in a robe talking about, you ever been swallowed? Hey, man.
I can imagine that he was speaking in terms of sin has swallowed you up, or, you know, something of that nature. But it
could have been telling the story of
Jonah and the whale.
Because he got swallowed, but him getting swallowed was his salvation. You know what I'm saying? So
have you ever been swallowed
up?
Where you are? It's how he's saying it though. Also, it's like he's reliving something. Like, I got swallowed.
Well, I mean, you know, that's not necessarily against his heterosexuality because.
Hey, I mean, that's just
me. I let it go.
I definitely been.
I'm just saying.
It just doesn't. First of all, it's how he's saying it. It just doesn't look good.
If he would have said the opposite, have you ever swallowed? If that would have been, then that's suspect.
I'm not going to give him. I'm not going to give him that.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying. I don't disagree with you, but I'm sorry. I don't give it to him.
Listen, I think that Denzel goes to the parties, right? And I was listening to somebody talk about it, and he was like, "You got to leave 30 minutes before the devil arrives." You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, Denzel has a reason to be there. I don't think Bishop T.D. Jakes should ever have a reason to be at.
Bro, I'm sorry. It's just the optics. It just looks bad.
Optics. I mean, my brother, who is an elder, is constantly worried about optics, and he doesn't have a fraction of the size of following as him. So, Bad Boys? That's who you're with? And the thing about it is, Diddy has a reputation and has had it for a long time. And you could argue he doesn't know about the reputation. You could argue that, but he has advisors. And I know he has a lot of people on his team that are LGBTQ, WXYZ as well. They know. They love T. So you can't tell me they're not, hey, Bishop, I don't.
What's tea without a little sugar?
I don't think this is the right. By the way, Gary be having Joe Rogan's dad on the show. Apparently,
Gary. Oh, this number two.
Numbers guy.
Literally the numbers guy.
Every time I say Gary, I go to
Chris
Gary.
Chris talks about Gary like they're boys.
yeah.
Gary,
my man Gary.
Having the Joe Rogan's dad on, and they got beef because apparently Joe Rogan tells stories that aren't true about his history, especially about his dad. It's specifically saying that his dad beat his stepmom or put his hands on his stepmom, which for him that was like, nah, you've crossed the line. But apparently he's estranged. They have no relationship. There's, I guess, parts of the family that Joe really won't talk to. They apparently been reaching out to Joe trying to have a conversation. He won't have a conversation. So, and Gary brings him on because Gary is vindictive, and him and Rogan had some kind of spat. Something happened, and ever since then he takes any opportunity he can to drag him. Brought his dad on the show to talk about Joe. I mean, not necessarily to lie, right? But, bringing skeletons out the closet. And Joe, and so why I remembered that was his dad, his name is Joe as well. His dad was like, Joe got a little sugar in his tank. Gary said, come on, man, you serious? He like, I bet my money on it. He got a little sugar in his tank.
I don't believe that.
I seen
Dad
it.
said that?
His dad said
How would he know?
It's his dad.
Just because it's his dad doesn't mean they have the greatest relationship. Of course he'll say things that's disparaging towards him.
I don't see that. But
outside of the allegations that Diddy is a power bottom or whatever,
Diddy's not a power bottom. TD's a power bottom.
I don't know. They might be power bottom. Both be power bottoms. Would you assume Diddy is
power bottom?
Would you assume Diddy is sweet?
I've watched that reel so many times.
Some niggas, there's a thing called being on the DL.
Yeah, but I ain't never heard of no.
Joe Rogan would have come from the DL era.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not. I don't know him at all, and I don't watch him all like that.
You're just rejecting but see, he's in the industry though. That's the only reason why I'm like,
Did you see that the old
he has the biggest podcast of all time. You don't think he had to pay for that?
I thought it was because he was, doing, what do you do, Fear Factor and all? I mean, he just kind of worked.
Fear Factor? Steven, people don't even know what Fear Factor was.
Fear Factor? That's our era.
Yeah, but people don't know what Fear Factor was. That's not the reason why Spotify signed him. Bro, he has an exclusive deal with Spotify. He has something that no one else has. How do you think he got there? Like,
you think he had to do something?
Bro, Cat Williams said Ludacris is getting $200 million for 20 movies. You think Joe Rogan's gonna get a $200 million deal just because he's good? Because he's the best at what he does?
I just feel like he just asks questions. Like and then he just gets all these people in there like, well, because this podcast is big, but it's just like, I'm not saying he doesn't bring value. I don't listen to him like that. Not
Rogan?
not because
He has some really interesting people on there. I think
Well,
a
no.
lot
Oh,
of
absolutely.
a lot of his guests on there, they have a lot of.
I'm talking about him.
Okay. Great.
That's what you see what I'm saying? I'm saying
him
like
personally.
Yeah, him personally.
Gotcha.
I don't
I'll grant you that.
He has good
I'll
questions.
grant you that argument, but let's play that game then. Okay. How did Joe Rogan get to where he is now?
Fear factor.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I would say Fear Factor is a step in the door.
I don't really know any. I don't know him from anything else.
But he's
an MMA
he's
fighter.
really good at being an orator.
I thought him and Dana White were the same person for a while.
Okay.
I mean, I could see.
I mean, come on. I'm not in
ball
MMA.
height,
Like,
yes.
you know what I'm saying?
I like Dana
guess.
White though.
I like him too.
Joe used to have hair.
he did a thing
though.
on
You're talking,
fasting
like,
recently.
More recently, you confused them because Joe had hair for.
I don't know. I didn't know who Dana White was. I thought he was Joe.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, they're the same person, right? Think about it. Okay. Dana White's the commissioner or whatever, the owner,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Joe was an MMA fighter. You can kind of like, I don't know them, so you can kind of
That's
just
so
get
weird, 'cause
them mixed
Joe-
up.
Yeah, Michael Jordan, David Stern, same people.
Nigga, they're not even the same color.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No. I didn't know Joe when he was fighting. I just knew him.
Joe was never an MMA fighter.
I thought you said he was an MMA fighter.
No, he's an MMA commentator. He took martial arts. He takes martial
So
arts.
maybe that's
Well,
why
well,
I see. That's maybe
so
that's why
you're
you
saying
see
he
how I
doesn't
could have done this.
professionally fight, but I'm sure he fights MMA.
Taekwondo is what he practiced martial arts in.
See,
Jiu-jitsu.
Mel, clearly
Virginia
you know a
jiu-jitsu
lot
is what he
about
takes
Joe
him down.
Rogan, and I don't. So just put yourself in my shoes. You can see how that can be confusing. They're both similar build. They're both bald. They're both older. They're both white.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson and
Nigga,
Lawrence
come
Fishburne.
on.
They look
I
the
didn't
same,
say
right?
that they were the same person. I don't really know them.
Look, the point.
Fuck out of here.
I got
Now you gonna try.
So basically, you said all white
All
people
white.
look alike. You said all white people look alike. That's all you said. If you're bald, short, no little martial arts, you Joe Rogan or Dana
No,
White.
I know who they
You
are
announce your fights
now.
or you the CEO. One of the
I
two.
literally was just like Dana White just did. He just did this talk because he's been talking about fasting.
Joe is also a
Yeah,
comedian
yes, I
as
saw that.
well, but
He's
he's
also-
not really known well for his comedic achievements. Okay, Mel.
Would you pay to go see Joe Rogan for comedy?
Here's Melwood, but here's the thing.
well,
Mel
Mel would go see-
knows him though.
Yeah.
You have to think.
That's what I'm saying. That's why he's trying to play me.
Outside of someone who knows Joe Rogan, what is Joe Rogan known for? He's known
Fear
for
Factor.
podcasts. Jesus
No, he's
Christ.
known for UFC.
Wow, y'all. I cannot do this with you.
Do you watch
Are you
UFC?
asking us a question?
Mel, you're not understanding the question.
Okay,
Ask it again.
continue.
Someone who doesn't know UFC MMA, someone who doesn't know him as a comedian, someone who doesn't know him from Fear Factor.
Why do we keep saying that like that's not a thing?
If we were to ask 100 people, how do you know Joe Rogan? They're going to say majorly podcasts.
So
we're
you're
talking about right
basically
now.
eliminating everything that he's done.
I'm
How
saying,
do you know Joe Rogan?
I'm saying to the general public.
What is he most famous for?
What is he most famous for? He's not most famous for UFC.
I would
I'm
say
just saying
UFC.
Mel knows him because of UFC.
I would say UFC.
Mel, how can you make that argument? He has the biggest podcast of all time.
He's saying him. If you
No,
say, how do you
I'm
know
not
Joe
asking
You're
Rogan?
speaking
you.
for someone who doesn't know anything
I'm
about
saying
anything.
generally, yes, not you.
I can't put myself in that position, so I would be exiled from the conversation.
I can understand
I would
how
be
they
exiled.
would say. Most people, when you say Joe Rogan, you're gonna think podcast. If you said Steven, how do you know Joe Rogan? I say he was Fear Factor.
Fear Factor. Okay, forget all that. Here's the point that I was making. If we look at his road to success as a podcaster, because we're talking about his exclusive deal with Spotify, which was like, what, a $50 million signing deal?
knows?
Whatever, some ridiculous number.
Now, what was the number?
It wasn't disclosed. People assumed it was
see, I
over
thought you
300.
knew.
Okay.
You knew something.
So it's, we have
So all
no,
this shit
we-
you talking about, I'm gonna let him cook. I'm not gonna let my man out here look crazy, but go ahead, continue.
Go ahead and cook, King.
what you going to say? I'm out here talking bullshit.
Go, I didn't say that.
What'd you
I
say?
never say you talk bullshit. Do you think, homeboy? Go ahead.
How did Joe get to that point where he was able to get an undisclosed amount of money, so much money that they aren't willing to disclose it? You have to think.
I have an answer.
It's so much money that they won't disclose it. That means something,
I have
right?
an answer.
If you look at his radio show and what he did leading up to podcasting, because he was in radio way podcast didn't exist. He was doing truther stuff. He built his audience and he built his chops doing truther stuff, conspiracy stuff, all of that. And then he transitioned later into these high profile interviews. Stop it, Steve. So what he did to get to where he was, he abandoned essentially when he became Joe Rogan Experience. He still does a little bit of it, but his take on it is completely different. The way he interacts with the content is so different.
You don't think he's just more responsible with information?
Jesus Christ, you listen to him a lot.
No, I'm asking you.
That's what he would say.
I'm asking you.
No, I do not, Mel. I think he's very good at programming people. And so when he has these...
So you just think Joe Rogan is just this evil guy out there who's programming people?
I think the fact that you chose those specific words...
I'm listening to your words.
Mel,
You're repeating them. That's it.
Dude,
Now, you said
those are your
you
words.
don't think that he's just responsible. That's literally what Joe Rogan would
And
say.
this is me asking you. Because I
but
just want
why
to...
ask it that
you're
way?
programmed.
Yeah, I know. But it's all good.
Why would you ask it that way?
Because I need to...
Couldn't you use different words, different language?
No. This is the
No,
way I
it's not
speak.
responsible, Mel. It's not responsible. How do you abandon the fan base that made you what you are?
So-
he took a deal.
Maybe he took a deal. Maybe he didn't.
For an undisclosed amount.
I don't know. But if you're in a position where you're creating something and you're moving towards these guidelines so you don't have anything disrupted, you would do things that don't disrupt your business, your foundation. Even if you have to do something that's, I guess cynical in a sense. Because an example of this would be where, what's his name? It's Pat McAfee. He's a sports broadcaster or whatever. And he recently came under fire because he had Aaron Rodgers on his show, and Aaron Rodgers, he's anti all that. He would be more aligned with the things that we talk about when it comes to not taking medicine and taking the
Pokes.
and all that. And so he was on Pat McAfee's show, and he said something about Jimmy Kimmel, because Jimmy Kimmel was always speaking down towards people who weren't getting the shots and things of that nature.
Yeah, he went hard.
Yeah, and then Aaron Rodgers, he spoke out against Jimmy Kimmel on Pat McAfee's show. And the reason why this is significant is because it's under the umbrella of Disney. And so if it's ESPN and it's under the umbrella of Disney, obviously there's guidelines and things that you should and should not say and you can and cannot do. And so he got suspended. Aaron Rodgers, he got suspended from Pat McAfee's show. And the reason why this is significant is because Pat McAfee, he had his own show. So for instance, if you had AHA and then someone wanted to partner with you, hey, let's bring you on to a bigger audience. Bam, you're on ESPN and now you have their audience. But
fuck that.
it's still
Not
your
ESPN.
own, your original show that you created, but it just happens to be on this ESPN network. And so there was a lot of people coming under fire saying, hey, he shouldn't do this, or we don't want Aaron Rodgers on here, because they were pushing this agenda of, same thing that Travis Kelce and all them are pushing when it comes to their advertisements. And he got suspended a day, and then because what's his name, Patrick Bet-David was talking about and everything, saying how Pat McAfee, he was being a tool or being used. He didn't buck against the system the same way that like Donald Trump and things like that. But what happened is that Pat McAfee, he showed his true colors, and he had another segment on his show where he brought back Aaron Rodgers the same day that he said he suspended him, because he said, hey, we're going to suspend him for the offseason. His offseason started that exact same day, to appease the people of the powers that be. So, and I bring up that long ass story about Aaron Rodgers and all that stuff, in consequence with Joe Rogan, is that you're going to do things that are within the guidelines of who you're signed up with or who you're partnering with, so what you're doing doesn't get disrupted. And also, there may be other people out there who don't think or who don't have open minds when it comes to information regarding drugs and pharmaceuticals and things of that nature. And so it's good to put I wouldn't say it's good, but if you want to keep a show to maintain something so it's not disrupting the flow of what you're doing, you would go out of your way to double check, fact check, and do all this stuff to make sure things are put out there right. Because, I mean, they do that. They, ever since that Elon Musk thing, like, cats have been on him. They're consistently and constantly trying to knock him in the news. They even said that he was the one telling people to take horse dewormers when he was saying, hey, don't get the needle no-nos. Don't do this, If if he's out there pushing against that agenda, I wouldn't say that he's someone who's going to paint people or to put all this negative narrative stuff out there when he's all about getting facts and information right.
Talking about Joe.
Bro, that's what they want you to think.
Okay,
Mel,
that's fine. I get it. I get that.
He has to be able to still put a little bit of truth out there. He can't just be bucking the system and talking about LGBT. He can't just go completely off the radar. He's got to. Man, I don't even understand this conversation because at this point it's like, y'all, bro, he got a deal for an undisclosed amount of money
on Spotify.
Yes,
he's not the only one who has gotten a deal from Spotify. There are a plethora of people.
Before Joe Rogan?
Yes.
Before Joe?
Yes. There's Joe Budden. They have the Call Me Daddy.
So you're telling me that Joe Budden got a deal like Joe Rogan's deal before Joe Rogan?
No, Joe Budden.
That's what I'm saying.
When you think of podcasts, Joe Rogan is that guy.
He's number one.
Even before Spotify.
Correct.
He was that guy.
Yeah.
So what is Spotify going to do? They're going to throw money at the top podcasters so they can gain an audience. If he's the number one, they're going to get the top spot.
Who owns Spotify?
I don't know.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Oh, I'm sure that Kanye can let us know.
Can we find out who the primary shareholder?
If I had one guess,
the majority shareholder of Spotify.
Why'd you ask me if you was gonna look it up?
He's probably just helping you. We're looking for majority shareholder.
The multi-billion music streaming company Spotify is primarily owned by its business founders Daniel Ek and Martin Lorenzen.
We'd have to find out more information about them, huh?
But it's it's different. Bro, I'm aware of all this stuff, but I'm not to the point where I'm just going to believe that absolutely everyone who puts in some kind of hard work, gets some type of recognition, is has ill intent with the content that they put out there.
Yeah, I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying that Joe Rogan necessarily has ill intent. The problem I have with Joe Rogan is the absence of information more than the information he's putting out is ill. If you look at his original content, it is completely different from the content now. But you also
have to think about how often do you listen to him. When's the last time you legitimately listened to a Joe Rogan conversation? It's probably been since he's been on YouTube. He don't even put videos out on YouTube anymore.
No, that's not true. I listen to him on Spotify all the time. I listen to the what was that dude name with the Bob Lazar?
The alien guy. Which was probably over a year and a half ago.
Yeah, but that don't mean that's when I listened to it. I didn't listen to it when it very first come out. I don't listen to his stuff when they very first come out. I'll usually see a clip and I'll be like, oh, that's an interesting conversation. I've listened to, and also I'm sure you've noticed this. He don't have Eddie on anymore. He'll have him on every couple of years.
Nah, he'll have him just on like the fight companions when they watch the UFC.
Okay, so that's not his interview. That's a different.
No, Eddie Bravo has his own show though.
I know that, but he used to be on Joe Rogan's show all the time. Yeah. Right? In a completely different capacity, right?
But
so part of the deal was
he got feedback that was negative.
Right. And guess what? Well, you say feedback that was negative from who? Eddie's interviews are viral.
Of course.
Okay? So that's a good thing in the podcast world, but maybe from the higher ups. And what did he start doing to Eddie? He started handling him. You saw it, Mel. You saw it.
I didn't really like it.
Right. So all I'm saying is I'm not gonna forget that. I don't have a problem with Joe, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with him. I think he's doing what he needs to do for his business. I get everything you're saying. I'm just saying we can't ignore that because I'm censored. So there's things that I can't do and say that I want to say.
I'm about to say, because you should be the number one understanding person.
I understand that. And so what comes with the $50 million, $100 million deal, the $500 million deal?
You trying to dress, you trying to wear.
Is censorship. But here is the problem that I have. With a following like Joe Rogan's, where he was getting millions of views before, through Apple or whatever he was on? Like he was on streaming platforms getting millions of views, and with his reach and he could have literally started the Joe Rogan Experience app if he just wanted to talk what he wanted to talk. So it's not just about him being responsible, putting out the best information. He did that for a bag, and the question is, what did he have to do?
And also censorship.
He did it for the bag, man.
And also censorship, because a lot of stuff that he talks about on his Spotify podcast, they started like flagging his videos
on YouTube
because they were on YouTube talking about that stuff.
Okay. But that's the beauty of it, because there's still censorship, right? Even if you go to Rumble is the no censorship platform, but there's censorship. It just depends. Different platforms are going to have different levels of censorship, right? If you start talking about Andrew Tate and Tristan in a negative way, you get your channel deleted on Rumble. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So the censorship exists everywhere. The only way to escape the censorship truly, and you know this, would be to start your own platform. So that's what I'm saying. The Joe Rogan Experience podcast app, which would have done well. No one can tell me it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like he took the deal, Mel. He took the deal. And now, you know, you see the story about his dad and you find out some things, you know, where he embellishes a little bit. And now you're starting to see little Steve Harvey coming out there. It's giving Steve Harvey, Joe.
Well, make sure y'all go watch John Wick. It's a good series.
He said he would have Cat on.
Oh, fun fact. Oh, Joe did?
Yeah.
He did.
He said he would have Cat on. We'll see if it oh my. He's going to take the throne, because you know Shannon Sharp's interview beat Joe Rogan's. And it's either right there or it's about to beat it.
The record.
Yeah. So Joe's gonna have Cat on and beat the record again.
Well, not really. He's not gonna beat the record because it's not gonna be on YouTube.
It's also not gonna be the same type of,
and it'll be a different audience.
Different energy.
I mean, the numbers are gonna be dumb.
I think they will, but you know, I don't know. Black people, they picked that up and they ran with that. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if black people get a hold of anything,
especially anything
it's
negative,
going to get viral.
Yeah.
What, Mel? What, since you watch Joe more, what do you think the chances are that Cat's going to be on Joe Rogan?
I don't know if Cat will actually go.
It's hard, honestly. It's hard to say because he went on a rapper's podcast
Recently?
Yeah,
I saw that. I didn't watch it, but
it was basically the same thing as Shannon.
Yeah, of course.
They just tried to
bite.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't say I can. I would be shocked if he went on Joe Rogan. I would be shocked.
So you would say less than a 50% chance. You would say
I can't say less. The only reason why is just because they're both comedians, and I can see them, conversing, or maybe there were some misunderstandings. I can see them conversing because I don't know. I honestly feel like it would be a good conversation. I would say 50-50 is the percent. I can't go one over the other just because I don't know.
He took the easy way out. Took the easy way out.
I don't give a fuck, nigga. That's the shit that came up in my mind, nigga. What route you got?
Damn.
So I agree with you, right? Cat. Can I finish? Cat. I was surprised he did the second interview. I was surprised he did the second interview, and I was a little surprised that
Willie D is his name.
Willie D. Yep. I was surprised that and Willie D got Dame Dash on there too. Did you see that?
I saw that.
I haven't seen it yet. So so that does make it a little shady for me because now I want to give it like a 60% chance. I would have said like a 30% before, but now that I see like Cat may have bigger intentions behind these interviews.
Possibly.
So with Joe extending it, which doesn't make any sense.
It does.
No, it doesn't make sense that he wasn't on the list to begin with.
Maybe he's just not around.
Why wouldn't you extend the offer to Cat Williams? It's kind of
if it's not. Oh, they're both comedians, so he's definitely in their.
It's kind of weird. You know, Cat is one of the greatest comedians of all time. You have Dave Chappelle on.
Yeah, maybe because I don't know.
It doesn't really make sense, right?
You can speculate.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't had Martin Lawrence on. He hasn't had Eddie Murphy on. So it's just.
And he doesn't do interviews though.
Cat Williams doesn't do interviews.
Well, I'm not. I know, but I could potentially see Joe being like, "Yo, Eddie, you want to come on the show?" Nah, I don't need. You know what I mean, like that. So I don't know, man. Has he had Seinfeld on?
Maybe.
Okay,
I'm sure he has.
You
I don't
think
know.
so?
Because if he shows Seinfeld, I wouldn't care.
Because Seinfeld had a show.
I know y'all like Seinfeld.
What does that mean? Like
No, y'all like
the
it.
show?
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
the comedian, but the show. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because
No,
just
Seinfeld. That's his name. That's his name. Happened to be the name of the show.
Yes, I like the show. Seinfeld is not funny to me.
Not at all. I haven't watched. I've watched his recent comedy special. I was just like, how is this guy funny? How is he a successful
Because
comedian?
I'm pretty sure. And
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
I have a fun fact.
All right. What's the fun fact?
he's gonna bleep that out.
My fun fact?
Nah. He'll being disrespectful.
Did you know that Joe Rogan? Why'd your face turn?
I didn't face anything. I'm looking at you, and your eyes thought my face did something. I'm not doing anything. I'm just looking at you. What's up?
Joe Rogan made $15 million from Fear Factor.
Okay.
In like 9 seasons, right?
It's like 150 episodes. Not many seasons.
A lot of fucking
I mean,
episodes.
It's a lot of episodes.
That's a lot of episodes.
15 million.
That's
though.
still a lot of money, though.
That's still a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is years ago.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
isn't 15 million now. This
No.
is years
Right.
ago.
So that's good money. That's very good money.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. What does it have to do with anything?
What's
That has nothing to do with why he is.
What does that mean? He made $15 million.
It's a fun fact.
Hey,
You can
man.
wrap us up.
All right, man. Actually, let's move on to the next topic.
No.
All right, there, nigga. We appreciate y'all rocking out with us. Make sure y'all check out John Wick if y'all haven't. It's a really good series. Man, I gotta see the 4th one somehow. I ain't paying for it, but I'm gonna find a way to watch it. So nah, you know what I mean? Well, I'll watch it.
I don't know. We know what you're gonna do.
No, I'm not. I can't do it. Well, I don't. But anywho, make sure you subscribe, like video, check out our Patreon. We will see you beautiful people next time. I am Chris James, Stephen Michael. We'll see you beautiful people later. Holla.